In the vibrant kingdom of Umoja, a land where the golden savanna met bustling markets, rhythmic drum beats echoed through vibrant villages, and every winding path told a tale of ancient pride and unity, there lived a princess whose legend was as notorious as it was humorous. For Princess Amara had earned renown not for her valor or wisdom, but for her extraordinary talent in doing absolutely nothing at all, a trait she affectionately dubbed her royal inactivity. Unlike the industrious subjects and revered elders of Umoja, who rose with the sun to tend to their fields, weave intricate baskets, and sing songs passed down through generations, Princess Amara preferred the soft caress of cool silks and the gentle embrace of a cushioned divan in her opulent palace, where she spent countless hours luxuriating in a state of sublime repose. Each morning, as the scarlet orb of the African sun climbed steadily over the horizon, illuminating the intricacies of hand-carved doorways and the vibrant murals adorning the palace walls, the kingdom stirred with energy and purpose. Yet within the hushed corridors of the royal residence, Amara's eyelids remained heavy and her spirit as lethargic as a languid afternoon siesta. It was on one such morning, when the blazing sun had already crowned the sky with hues of crimson and gold, that a gentle yet persistent tapping at the ornate door stirred the palace's retinue into action. Mosey, the ever-loyal attendant, whose years of service had taught him both respect and resigned exasperation, appeared in the doorway and announced in a tone mingled with urgency and bemusement, "Your Highness, the sun has been up for hours, and the day calls for your presence." Yet even as his words floated through the air, Amara, swathed in a cascade of patterned fabrics reminiscent of ancient Adinkra symbols and the intricate artistry of the region's renowned weavers, merely offered a languid smile and replied, "Oh, dear Mosey, must the dawn always impose its vigor upon me? I simply cannot be expected to rise at the insistence of a mere sunrise." Thus began a day that would unravel the familiar tapestry of idleness into a vibrant mosaic of challenge and transformation. A day in which a magical intervention would soon force the princess to confront her own indolence and embrace the duties of leadership that had long been neglected. For you see, the palace of Umoja, though resplendent with the fruits of centuries of artistry and tradition, had been slowly succumbing to the whims of a ruler whose passion for repose overshadowed even the simplest obligations of daily governance. In the grand dining hall, a room scarcely a handful of paces from her sumptuous bed draped in textiles of deep indigo and burnished gold, the princess was not offered a typical throne, but rather a lavishly embroidered cushion placed atop a heavy, ornate table. And as she settled into this makeshift seat, she groaned, "This hard seat vexes my tender back. Surely I was not born to suffer such discomfort." Even the ritual of breakfast, a feast normally heralding the promise of a day filled with duty, turned into an ordeal of complaint as the princess lamented every bite of spiced millet porridge, every nibble of roasted plantains, remarking with theatrical discontent that if only her mouth possessed the dexterity of her mind to perform its own labor, her day might be spared the burden of actual consumption. Meanwhile, outside the palace's ivy-clad walls, the subjects of Umoja went about their routines with purpose and pride, their lives interwoven with the threads of history and communal effort. Yet their admiration for their princess was increasingly marred by the growing toll of her habitual inaction, a burden that threatened to unbalance the delicate harmony between leader and people. It was amid this backdrop of discontent that the royal council, desperate for change, yet unsure how to instill it in a ruler so deeply entrenched in her comforts, turned to Nia, a wise enchantress whose reputation for unconventional methods was matched only by her serene grace and penetrating insight into the human soul. Summoned to the palace in hushed tones and whispered hopes, Nia observed with a knowing smile the slumbering figure of Princess Amara in the garden, where even the acacia trees and sprawling ferns seemed to sigh under the weight of neglect. And, after consulting her ancestral calabash, a sacred vessel imbued with the magic of transformation and the wisdom of countless forebears, she pronounced that something must be done to awaken the sleeping potential within the princess. "Your Highness," she intoned, her voice as soft as the rustle of palm fronds, yet resonant with authority, "the time has come for you to rise. not merely from your bed, but from the inertia that binds you. 3 tasks lie before you, each a challenge meant to kindle the dormant flame of duty within your heart. Complete them, and your devoted attendants shall return to serve you once more. Fail, and the state of disarray will only worsen. Initially, Princess Amara scoffed at the notion, dismissing the enchantress's words as fanciful ramblings of an old woman steeped in mysticism. But the magic of the calabash would not be denied, for that very morning, as she reluctantly opened her eyes to the light streaming in through her intricately carved wooden windows, she was confronted by a sight both startling and sublime. A radiant golden calabash, levitating serenely before her, its luminous surface dancing with reflections of the dawning day, spoke in a clear, melodious tone. "Good morning, Princess. I am the sacred calabash of change, here to guide you toward the path of active leadership. If you wish to reclaim your cherished attendants and restore harmony to the kingdom of Umoja, you must undertake 3 challenges that will test your resolve, your creativity, and your willingness to serve your people." Though a part of her wished to dismiss this vision as a fevered dream, the calabash's unwavering presence and earnest declaration left no room for doubt. The princess's days of unchallenged idleness were numbered. With a mixture of trepidation and reluctant acceptance, Amara found herself facing the first of these daunting tasks, the cleansing of the Grand Royal Hall, a space that once dazzled with intricate mosaics and vibrant patterns inspired by centuries-old traditions, but which now lay hidden beneath a thick blanket of dust and layers of cobwebs that clung to the ancient chandeliers like remnants of forgotten celebrations. Clad in a pair of simple leather gloves that contrasted starkly with her regal finery, the princess set about the task with a heavy heart and a series of muttered complaints, lamenting the strain on her delicate wrists and the burden of labor that her privileged position had long shielded her from. With every sweep of her broom, however, an unexpected feeling began to stir within her. As the dust was banished from the once glittering floors and the chandeliers began to reclaim their lost brilliance, Princess Amara experienced a fleeting but genuine sense of accomplishment, a sensation so rare and precious that it sparked a glimmer of pride in her heart. Before she could fully savor this newfound satisfaction, the sacred calabash reappeared, its light soft yet insistent, heralding the arrival of the second task that would test her in a different arena. "Princess Amara," it declared in tones imbued with both encouragement and command, "your next challenge awaits in the palace gardens, a haven that once burst forth with indigenous flora and the vibrant colors of hibiscus, bougainvillea, and frangipani, but now lies overrun by stubborn weeds and wilting blooms neglected by your prolonged inactivity." With a sigh that mingled resignation with a hint of curiosity, the princess ventured into the sprawling garden, where the warm earth and whispering breezes seemed to murmur secrets of resilience and renewal. There, among the tangled undergrowth and overgrown paths, she encountered Taji, a spirited water gourd animated by a gentle enchantment, whose clear, vibrant voice rang out as he greeted her. "Greetings, princess! I am Taji, your humble assistant in this quest to revive the beauty of our sacred garden. Take up a trowel and begin the work of unearthing the splendor hidden beneath these unruly vines, for the land itself calls out for your care." Despite initial protests and a litany of excuses, complaining that the sun's brilliance was too harsh for her sensitive skin, or that the physical exertion threatened to mar her delicate composure, Amara soon found herself drawn into the rhythm of the garden's labor. As she pulled out tenacious weeds, loosened the hardened soil, and tenderly watered the earth under Taji's vigilant supervision, the garden began to transform before her very eyes. The once dormant buds awakened into vivid bursts of color. Butterflies, with wings patterned like the traditional kente cloth, fluttered joyfully among newly blossomed marigolds and roses, and the air became redolent with the rich, earthy aroma of renewed life. In that transformative moment, Princess Amara discovered that there was a beauty in labor, a reward in the act of caring for the land that sustained her people, and though her voice still carried a trace of reluctance, it was now laced with the unmistakable tone of emerging resolve. Yet, just as the princess began to entertain the possibility that this change might be both temporary and transformative, The sacred calabash, ever the herald of destiny, reminded her of the final and perhaps most formidable challenge, the orchestration of a grand harvest feast that would serve not only as a celebration of the season's bounty, but also as a testament to her renewed commitment to her kingdom. "For your third and final task," the calabash pronounced, its glow intensifying with the promise of metamorphosis, "you must organize an elaborate banquet that encapsulates the rich culinary heritage and communal spirit of Umoja. Let the feast be a reflection of your dedication and a symbol of the unity and joy that your people so deeply cherish." The notion of managing such a monumental undertaking sent a ripple of anxiety through the princess, for it was well known that she had long delegated all matters of administration and celebration to her trusted staff, and the mere thought of orchestrating every detail herself, from the meticulous preparation of spiced roasted meats, fresh maize bread, and tangy tropical fruit salads, to the elegant arrangement of woven mats and vibrant floral garlands, filled her with a sense of overwhelming dread. Nonetheless, compelled by the magic of the calabash and the weight of her newfound responsibility, Princess Amara ventured into the palace's vast kitchen, a place where the echoes of laughter and the clatter of utensils once harmonized with the joyful preparation of feasts now lay silent and forlorn. It was there that the magic, as unpredictable as it was transformative, stirred once more. With a flourish of radiant light, the calabash imbued the kitchen with a wondrous animation. Pots, pans, and even the ancient musical instruments, relics of jubilant celebrations past, began to move of their own accord, heedful to the princess's every vague command. "Prepare the roasted meats with spices that sing of our ancestors. Arrange the hall with garlands of hibiscus and amaryllis, and let the drums and flutes play a tune that makes the very heart of Umoja beat with joy," she ordered, half in hope and half in desperation. But the enchanted utensils, lacking the subtlety of human guidance, interpreted her instructions with comical literalness. A cacophony of mishaps ensued as stews bubbled over with overly tender cabbage. The drums pounded in disarray, and the decorations meant to evoke elegance ended up scattered in disjointed patterns that resembled an abstract dance more than a coherent celebration. In the midst of the ensuing chaos, as the palace hall became a scene of culinary and musical bedlam, Princess Amara's heart sank under the weight of her own imprecision and the gravity of her responsibility. Yet it was in this moment of crisis that the sacred calabash reappeared one final time, its soft radiance a beacon of hope amid the disorder. "Do not despair, princess," it urged gently, "for your attendants who have been spirited away by my magic shall return only when you have completed your tasks with earnest intent and careful stewardship. Let this feast be the crucible in which your true leadership is forged." Moved by the sincerity of the calabash's words and the palpable need of her people, Princess Amara steeled herself against the tide of panic and took charge with a clarity and determination that had long lain dormant within her. With firm, precise commands, she reorganized the wayward helpers, directing them to prepare succulent spiced meats, freshly ground maize porridge, and an array of tropical fruits and vegetables that celebrated the rich flavors of her homeland. She supervised the decoration of the grand hall with meticulous care, ensuring that every garland, every woven tapestry, and every lit torch was arranged to honor both tradition and the promise of renewal. As the transformed feast began to take shape, a dazzling spectacle of culinary artistry, vibrant colors, and rhythmic melodies that echoed the heartbeat of Umoja, the assembled courtiers and subjects who had gathered in anxious anticipation broke into spontaneous applause and cheers of amazement. "Could it be that our once indolent princess has discovered the strength to lead?" they murmured in awe, their voices resonating with newfound hope and pride. In that transformative moment, Princess Amara recognized that the arduous tasks she had reluctantly undertaken were not burdens to be borne, but rather stepping stones toward a deeper understanding of her role as the guardian of her people's future. The very act of labor had awakened within her a sense of purpose and fulfillment that transcended the fleeting pleasures of idle repose. And as the last notes of the jubilant music faded into the warm African twilight, she felt a stirring of pride, a quiet, undeniable joy that came from knowing that she had at last embraced the mantle of responsibility. In the days and weeks that followed, the kingdom of Umoja blossomed with renewed vigor and unity, its markets more vibrant than ever, its gardens a living tapestry of color and life, and its people infused with the spirit of collective effort and hope. Though Princess Amara still cherished moments of rest and reflection beneath the vast, starlit skies of her homeland, she no longer allowed the allure of perpetual leisure to define her reign. Instead, she had learned that true leadership was found in the delicate balance between repose and action, between the serene beauty of a well-spent nap and the exhilarating triumph of a task accomplished. And so, as the echoes of drumbeats and jubilant voices melded with the timeless whispers of the savannah, the story of Princess Amara, a princess who once epitomized the art of doing nothing, became a living legend, a reminder to all in the kingdom of Umoja that even the most indolent among us can rise to greatness when destiny calls, and that every challenge, no matter how daunting, carries within it the seeds of transformation and the promise of a brighter tomorrow.